Alrighty, back in the garage working on the Java Green Pipe Green. One of my viewers named the car for me. So anyway, I'm going to take a look at the green 66 that we bought. This is a chassis. I think we showed this once before. But I got it laid out now in the shop here, getting ready to weld it all together and bolt some components to it. Got the tram gauge there, making sure everything's nice and square. Got the old protractor over there so I can get all my stuff straight and halfway right anyway. So this is looking pretty good. I went to get the old spot welder out and it appears that I've worn it out. So I have to try to locate some of these bad boys, and it's been a little more difficult than I thought it would be. This is a porta spot, and these are just worn right down to the steel inserts sticking out of the slug here and makes a hole. So couldn't find any today. Looked and looked. I'm going to try to turn them over tonight, see if I might be able just to reshape this side and use this side up until I can find something. If not, I'll have to MIG weld it. So hey Kendrick, all you R&S boys there. This bench right here, this is what me and Kendrick, or Kenny at the time, started on back in like 1974. We ported our first set of 289 Ford cylinder heads on here. This was my dad's workbench. He was a wood guy. And we came in and we rated this thing. And he was real meticulous about all this stuff, you know, Yale guy. And we went in and rated all his little stones and stuff to, you know, knock the big port down in the exhaust port, a little bump, you know, that the Fords had. But this is where it all started, this bench. So pretty funny. Anyway, let's take a look at the car. Here's the 66. Got a little bit of paint work done on it. Got the heater channels all welded in there. Got some cut-in work done on it. Got the underside painted. Got the fender wells painted. Got the rear apron all welded on, cut in, painted. The deck lid's looking a lot better. Got it all welded up, dollied out. I think I'll be able to use all the parts from the car. Two doors are over there. Those are all straightened out. Haven't really decided how to paint the car yet. You know, some people say do like a rat rod paint job, but I think I'm just gonna go with the Java Green. I sort of like that color, but we got it all painted under here. We'll have to clear it one more time, of course, but it's cut in at the start, you know. And it's a far cry from what we started with. So, and yeah, so that's what's been going on. I got a beam here for the car. Dug that up. I'm gonna try to narrow this, and probably not a complete 4 inches, but as much as I can with the stock towers on there, just to give me a little bit of room. And I need to cut the tunnel open tonight and do a reinforcement on the clutch tube. I'm going to try to come up with a double disc clutch, and then I have a lot less stress on the clutch components, the cable, the tube, all that stuff, you know, that goes way down. Use a lot lighter pressure plate when you add a clutch disc. You know, you don't have to have as much clamping power. But anyway, that's what's happening with this. I was working out some of the suspension deals. Gonna have to build some sort of not really a Kafer bar setup, but the roll cage. When I put that in, I'm gonna try to put a bar right across the package tray there at the back and incorporate my engine bar here. I like to use this. Back in the day in the 70s when I had the Berg bar back here, you can use, you know, you drill a hole and it sort of goes right under the oil pump, and you tighten this bar up and it pulls the engine up off the body. And eventually when you get the body pulled down enough, the car starts splitting in half right here. So what I did to eliminate that was I made this bar, and basically this attaches to the roll cage, and it'll attach to the bar in the package tray. We'll put a tab that'll go to these on each side, and I'm going to try to get this mounted right here. Well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to mount it right in here. I got to mock everything up, make sure the bell housing is going to clear, because I got to put a scatter shield on the bell housing. But anyway, and these will come down to the solid transmission mount, and we can pull the transmission and the rear torsion up by the roll cage, not the body of the car. and that works out much better, and from my experience anyway. And then we'll sort of incorporate something like this on this car. This car sort of, you know, it's old, so don't mind the welds, and it's had a couple different deals. This is for a strap deal to hold the spring plate on before they came out with the aluminum spring plate covers. And now we use the cable. I'll sort of show you how we do it now. But anyway, I'm going to try to tie all this stuff in. I'll probably plate the inside of this and TIG weld it up with some nickel, and that'll give me a nice anchoring point to tie it into the rear torsion. And then those tabs right there are what I'm talking about. Those will be sticking through the package tray. You know, at the court, this car has to have a package tray and all that stuff. So those tabs will be hanging through the package tray, and we'll be able to pull our motor up right at the transmission, the bell housing area there. And I've even incorporated the scatter shield into this mount where you can use the scatter shield and attach it. So I should be able to pull it off. But that's what's going on with this deal. The old green Java. I got pretty sick. That's why I quit making videos. I got a bone infection. You guys, some of you guys know I had one of my arms reattached. I had a wheel explode and blew my arm off, broke my neck. And basically I got a lot of hardware in my arm, and it caused a problem. It's been good for 8 years, but I got a serious bone infection, so I had to get a bone biopsy and all kinds of fun stuff, antibiotics and steroids. So it's been a real ride. So I haven't been out in the shop. I've just been getting back out here, and I want to get working on this car. I'm really behind on a lot of other stuff, but this is what's calling me, you know. I'm sort of putting a lot of things off. But this is good therapy for me. I really want to get this done where I can have something to drive and, you know, just have some enjoyment with some of the parts that are laying around. Here's the spring plate covers. They make nicer ones now. This is the first evolution, I guess. And now they got holes in them. They come anodized. They're pretty cool. But this is a nice setup. You use one urethane bushing on the inside, and then you have this bronze bushing on the outside, and it supports the spring plate much better. It keeps it from moving around. These babies here will just crumble on you. You know, your spring plate will get to moving around, especially if you get severe tire shake. They can break these pretty easily if they get older. So you got to be aware of that. If you ever see red dust in your garage, or they're not squeaking, normally anybody that has these mounts know they can get squeaky. When you stop hearing that squeaking noise, it's usually because the mount's deteriorating and not being that good anymore. So this is what's going on with this. I'm going to put a whole front clip on it. It's a 64 chassis. We're going to make it a ball joint car. I just have more ball joint stuff, and I got some Gia spindles, so I'm going to try to do a disc brake setup on here. I got some nice CMS wheels, but they hit the factory calipers, so I'm hoping that I can use some of those Wildwood calipers or Willwood, and they're a little flatter, so I'm hoping it doesn't hit the wheel, or maybe a spacer, because I'm trying to build this car out of the parts that I have, you know, around here. But anyway, that's what's happening. I'm gonna get those wheels dug out. I got some BRMs, you know, for just cruising around, and we'll try to just do the BRMs on the back. I'm gonna try to get like I think it's a 235 Mickey Thompson street tire, or an M&H, or a Hoosier. I don't know what's out there. I'm gonna try to buy a used set. That would be the most ideal situation for me. You know, get a set that somebody else has already used a little bit, and that'll help on the costs. But here's the a lot of cars use the straps to keep the I just dropped the spacer. There we go. But you've seen the limiting straps for the torsion to keep the axle straight, keep the axle from tucking under the car. We had these made at a sale company here, and they work pretty good. They look a little hokey. I might try to go to some nice straps, but basically it goes from the top shock bolt to the bottom, and it keeps the axle from dropping under the car. You know, it can't go any further than a strap will let it drop down. And I've been thinking about trying to limit the travel of the spring plate on the upward motion also. Of course, this keeps it from, you know, going under the car. When you lift it to big end, a lot of times an IR or a swing axle car, it'll try to suck the tire under the car, and it makes it really uncomfortable to drive on the big end. Well, these stop that. But the problem now, you know, you get a good biting car, a good track, and you can only put so much torsion in the car. And I could go to a better shock, obviously. But the last time I ran the drag car, or pan car, or whatever you want to call it, turbo car, I had a 9-inch slick instead of an 8-inch slick. And it was working the torsion quite a bit. You know, it was squatting the tire. So I might want to try to limit how much that spring plate will move up, and see if it will, you know, knock the tire off if I do that when it hits the stop, or if it'll just hook. So I have never tried to limit the motion of the spring plate on the upward travel before, but I might try to do that on this. So that's what this car's about, just trying different stuff, you know. I've been racing the other car for a long time, and you got to have a trailer. You got to have people out there with you. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to put this together and at least drive it a little bit. I have AAA now, so if it breaks down, I can get a tow. But you know what I mean. I just like to have a driver, something I can drive out to the track, race it, and drive it home. Type of deal. So I got a motor in there that I'm putting together for it. I don't think anybody really wants to see that. I do need to get some cylinder heads cut. I haven't been able to find anybody to cut any cylinder heads for me locally. So I saw some guys in California that I know. I can send some stuff out there. I'm gonna maybe go that route. I really don't want to send it all the way out there, but I think I'm gonna have to, because if I don't, we'll have to mount a turbocharger under here somewhere, because the compression is just way too low. So I want this to be an aspirated deal. So that's what we're gonna shoot for. I do have a couple motors that I could make one turbocharged and one naturally aspirated. Here's the original hood that was folded in half. I've got all the dolly work. This thing came out pretty good. So I got this dolly pretty smooth. It hardly has any, it's not gonna take much filler at all on that. And I don't know how that came out like that. You know, I think I had some help from above. Here's the deck lid. It's all welded back together. It was all, you know, you couldn't open it. This is all folded in half. You can see it's had a lot of dolly work in there. But hey man, I'm recycling this stuff, trying to use what came with the car. And you know, little Bondo, little primer, little paint, it'll be fine. So that's what's happening. You guys are caught up on the Java Green little 66. We're still working on it. And yeah. So I want to say thank you for you guys that have been watching the videos. I don't make a lot of money on YouTube, maybe $100 a month, I think is, you know, my normal. And when I got sick, I don't know why. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens at the right time, seems like. But I got like a little $100 raise on YouTube, so I've been getting $200 now. And it helps, man, when you're not able to go do stuff. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for subscribing. And I really appreciate it. It really does help. So also I want to say thank you for the guy that gave me the chassis to do this. I'm going to be able to come up with a chassis for this car. I needed a chassis that had a title. And this one got donated to me by the guys down there at R&S, and I really appreciate it. And I'm going to try to make the best use out of you know, what we got here. And I can't say thank you enough, man. Would have made it really difficult if I would have had to go buy another car just for the chassis and all that good stuff. So, you know, the chassis that was with this car was so rusted it was bad, so there was no option to use that. So this is going to work out really good. This was, if you've been watching the videos for a really long time, this was the original Lily chassis, and we ended up changing that one out. So this is the old chassis to that car, and I was able to get the title and the chassis, and it just made everything a lot easier. So thank you, and thanks again for watching the videos. I rambled for quite some time, so I'll go ahead and upload this and catch you guys on the next one.